Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Sentinel League 3.18. In this episode, I want to go over my thoughts on the actual Sentinel League mechanic. I'm going to have this playing in the background, but first I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the actual, like a TLDR thoughts of the actual mechanic. So the main thing is I think that the mechanic itself is really complicated and will be maybe tedious and annoying, and it'll I think it'll be similar to incubators. The feeling, the use. Incubators is what I'm thinking, okay? And then it'll be a sentinel, and you have the tree to upgrade it and all that stuff. But the main juice of this league mechanic is the power cores. Combining the different sentinels and the power cores is really big, in my opinion. I think it's going to be really cool. The unique ones that we get from the combining, and then being able to recombine weapons, jewelry, armor, and the new modifiers that created because of the new league mechanic. We don't even know everything, but we saw the astral plate with spell suppression, mage bane, and global defenses fractured. So yeah, that's so weird. Like, how is that even possible? That's not a thing in the current game. So the new league has created some really broken stuff, and that's my yeah. So there's definitely some really cool, powerful end game in here, but to get there, we're gonna have to do some stuff. But yeah, the thoughts overall is that we're gonna come into the league. We're gonna get these sentinels, and we're just gonna equip it, and then be able to have it mark the enemies, makes the enemies more powerful, and then we kill the enemy and we get free stuff, and then we can upgrade the sentinels with the tree and get more sentinels. And then when they get used, it said literally they say when they get used up, we're gonna be able to scrap them, and then like not scrap them, but like combine them with the power cores. As long as we get enough power cores, we're gonna be able to combine old sentinels. They don't even like break apparently. They just stop. They don't have any charges probably. So then you can combine the empty, no charges, yeah, together, and then you might be able to get some unique ones if we have good combinations. The unique ones are pretty cool because they had like some really powerful effects. One of them is a headhunter. So we'll be able to have like, and then they made a point that we're going to constantly be getting different sentinels as we play. We're not going to be having the same sentinel the entire time. It's actually going to be switching at different times between the sentinel. Like, we're not going to have the same one. They have limited duration, limited amounts of charges. You may use one for a specific situation. You might get one and save it for a specific thing. Then you might know that there's combinations, so you would definitely save them after. And then some might not even combine. I don't know. It's really cool what they've done here, and there's a lot of possibilities. But I'm telling you, I think the biggest thing is the combining the power cores and the unique sentinels, and then the powerful items we can create off of the recombinators is like the biggest stuff for me. And the actual league mechanic itself, like, I don't know how many people are going to look forward to, because okay, I thought of it like this. They said it, but chat, it's and viewers, it's not the same. Okay, look, they said we had the option of making permanent sentinels or probably longer lasting. There's like a gradient, right? Like a variance. You don't have to have the shortest amount of duration possible, right? It doesn't have to be this amount either. It could be like 50% more. It could be 10% more. It could be less. Uh, they could have no duration and only charges. They could have duration and unlimited charges. They could have unlimited everything and just have fun and do some other thing that you have to spend, right? So then the point here is that they show charges, and it marks all those enemies, and you'll have to keep switching in new sentinels, which is like an incubator on your item. But instead of on your item, it's this extra slot in your inventory next to your items, which is really cool. You have 3 slots, so you can see they have 3 different sentinels, and that's really cool. And then you could pick and choose which one you want to use to buff, and then some of them only target rares and uniques, so you can actually have some selection and some choices, like I've pointed out, maybe runic monsters. That sounds pretty good, but the league mechanic seems pretty insane, but it's very complicated and tedious, and a lot of people won't like this because they want the fast go, zoom zoom. I don't know. This seems like you'll be able to do it, but it's at first it's gonna slow them down, which they won't appreciate. But I think it looks pretty good where it's worth it. And this is when we're gonna be able to sentinel everything in the maps. Oh my god, sentinel the entire legion. Like one of my ideas. Well, I think everyone thought of this right away when they saw it. So there's this blue one, and it reminds you kind of Ice Nova, and then there's a big ass blue and it can cover a lot of enemies, and so then people probably immediately think of, they open a legion, boom, and then everything from the legion is empowered, and then they break it, and yeah, it's pretty good. 50 enemies on that one. That's crazy. And they come corrupted, so you can't actually modify them except for combining them. So the entire league is literally the combination of sentinels and their modifiers to get better sentinels, because I like, this is everything. It's we're gonna, and then the power level of some of the later ones, like these are just magic one mod. This is already pretty decent. If you had just this in Heist, like think about that, like it's pretty good, pretty good. Can you Sentinel Heist? It sounds like you should be able to. So Heist is gonna be like extremely valuable this season, and it's gonna come back in a new. It's like V2 version 2 of everything that you can use Sentinel on, because you'll be able to empower. Like imagine Harvest empowered. I think Harvest is already pretty rewarding from the monsters, like the loot that you get, and then imagine empowering them. You get like a tier 4, boom. Oh my god. Because you could actually kill all the monsters, get just the tier 4, because he's going to phase, you know, guaranteed. And that's pretty reliable. And you could get extra drops. Could you double the drop from that guy? Or can you get double drops from bosses? It said that you cannot use it on pinnacle bosses, but that makes me think that you might be able to use it in other places. Also, can you Sentinel Delve? They never said you couldn't. They said that you couldn't do it pinnacle bosses, simulacrum, and unique maps. So what, Delve, Ice, Sentinel's just your friend everywhere, bro. Dude, they actually did this. This league is sleeper really, really, really cool, because it changes everything. I have some more future videos that I have to get into as well. Let me know what you guys think of these topics. My thoughts of the no balance changes in this league, with so many changes to the enemies, Uber Endgame, an arch nemesis modifier replacing the bloodline and nemesis, and then a video going over the Atlas strat at the beginning for 3.18 season with what they have shown. So you know how they showed the changes to the Atlas tree where they're adding new notables and new keystones, and they've shown us most of the keystones. 13 of the 20 keystones have been shown, or 14 of the 20, and they're going to show us the rest throughout this week, up towards the review, the actual season at the 13th. And so yeah, it's pretty exciting, and I definitely have some ideas already, because we know what the map device mods are, and we know what the Atlas, some of the new nodes are, those new notables, and so we can already start strategizing. Like just one of the things that most people obviously look at is when they remove the chance of different mechanics. So an easy one for me is, everyone might know that last league we had issues with what's it called, tormented spirits. Yep. And so by them, they might have, I might be able to remove it, increase the odds of everything else, and that's obvious and simple. And so I'm curious, like, how high can you get a single one? There's tons of things I'm wondering with the new skill tree, with the new passive tree, of what you're able to do at the beginning of the season with nothing and just a tree, and how close everything is, where the location. I have to go through all of it. So if you guys are interested in that video, let me know. And this was a really cool video going over the Sentinel League. I'm really excited to play with power cores. I think the base Sentinels alone are already going to be pretty good, and the fact that they come with free charges is like juice, and then the power cores is the actual like decision making, combining. You might have too many Sentinels, and you have to actually scrap them and save your good ones for power cores, and save power cores for the good ones, or buy them in my case with Trade League. All of this is buyable and tradable, so we'll have to figure out which ones we want. This is crazy. Character gains tailwind for 10 seconds on deployment is really cool. Like, on deployment sounds like it doesn't even have to actually shoot the enemies. It just gives you move speed. Like, what? Or action speed. And then I'm wondering if some will actually buff minions and stuff. We don't know everything yet. We haven't seen all the Sentinel mods. We don't know all the base Sentinel stuff, so we can't plan any Sentinel. But we know that the end game, like how of the blueprints or the Blight maps or the simulacrum or whatever, this one's end game is power core combining Sentinels. Complicated shit, and then the new crafting. Actually insane. I wonder how expensive these are going to be. It says you may find a new type of rare currency recombinators. These allow you to apply the Sentinel assembly process to your actual items, taking any two pieces of equipment from the same item class and combining them together. While the results are unpredictable, this process could merge the best elements of each item, potentially adding an exclusive new modifier to create something of unprecedented power. And like they show, these items are insane, dude. Yep. So I'm excited to see all of the combinations. Maybe they were also talking about trying to get it so we don't know all of the mods. That sounds like a nightmare. I really hope that's not a thing, and I hope it's on PoEDB and we know all the combinations so that we know how to do this stuff. Because even knowing it, we're still going to mess it up. So hopefully we just know day one. Either way, all of this sounds really cool. It looks really insane. Sentinel League is sick. I can't wait to have a Sentinel to buff up the bosses. And oh my god, the one thing, they actually took off the map drop from the boss or something. Like, what was that? I don't know what happened there. That I actually always kill the boss for the map drop, and now apparently they made it so it's dropping off a random monster instead. The new strategy will be you just continue to clear the map until you get an extra map, and then you can leave right away. I don't know. Sounds fine. You don't. Either way, clearing the map wasn't bad either. The only... Okay, guys, I'll tell you the honest truth of how you actually play mapping. The base map is whatever. What you're doing is you get tons of mechanics in the map. The mechanics, if you pick the right mechanics that you like, are better than stuff in the map. Just like how before, when Heist was really good, Heist was better than anything else in mapping. So you would just do Heist, unalked, and now we could go back to mapping because they buff mapping and buff the Atlas passive tree. So then, with this, you go to maps still, and you're going to do normal mechanics that are one of the 20 mechanics, and you're not really going to be chasing for this one map. You're not really going to have map sustain issues because of this one map. Like, it will be annoying that we can't just kill the map boss and get that extra map. That's the one where it's like, oh, the consistency is taken out. But I think we have all these other forms of consistent map sustain, especially early. I might actually pick some increased map sustain this time, because I found last time I had issues, and I think they tied the extra map sustain to the void stones. You get increased tier of the maps with a number of void stones you have. They got a mod that's called map drops in areas have 25% chance to be one tier higher, so when you have all four, it's a 100% chance. That you won't have right away, so maybe I'll spec into some early map sustain, especially the fact that they took the connection of the map drop off of the boss, and we'll see, dude. It could be interesting, at least, especially at the beginning. I found that the other thing I didn't think about in the past seasons is that you actually are trying to over-sustain maps. You don't just want one-to-one maps, like normal at the end when you have 200, 500, or you have 50 of one map and you're good, right? And you just need to keep sustaining one-to-one because you don't want to overfill the tab. Where at the beginning you actually want the oversustain, and then it's even worse because you have to go higher up in tier. You're trying to skip tiers even if you can, and you want as much map sustain as possible in the beginning, and maps are the most valuable at the beginning, and they're actually a giant moneymaker, and so you could build your whole thing around actually doing map sustain early. It's not a bad strat, and especially in Trade League, SSF, all of it, it's really not a bad idea to have extra map sustain. I think the Kirak helps, where you could trade the vendor and buy the maps, or you could do the those scouting reports with his missions, or you like all that stuff is really good, and picking the extra maps you don't have, and it's really helpful, and then the extra stuff you can do on the tree. But this is all talk about all the tree where you could actually say no Legion because the odds of Legion are kind of low, and then maybe you don't have the Atlas passives for it anyway, so then you could buff up your chance for everything else, and this one too. So I have to make a whole video probably on some of the ideas and plans you could do for the league start with the new stuff for 3.18 with the Atlas passive tree, what we could plan, figure out the odds, do some math, and maybe make a video. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed this Sentinel review. I'm really excited for it. It seems right up my alley. I love these kind of leagues. These are my kind of leagues, but I'm always worried about the average normal player because it's so insane, and it's going to be hard for them to appreciate it because it's going to be insane, and if they do hide some of this stuff, then it makes it even worse. To be honest, they should share all of the stuff so that people can actually use it, unless it's actually just good when they use it and they don't need to know what they're doing. But generally it's better that people know what they're doing. I don't know, it's my thoughts, and I like having a list, but if it's too much, oh god, that might be too much for people, because we've seen in the past Sentinel. But I think I can handle a Sentinel League now. I mean, not Sentinel, Synthesis, yeah. I could handle a Synthesis League now, but back then I had just started the game. It was my first league, so, and it was I came in the middle of the season after all the fixes, so I don't even know what it was like either. I like, yeah, people say it was bad, but it was already fixed when I played it. So, yep. And then we've only had a few leagues that are like really complicated, and I kind of enjoyed them because people do put out helpful stuff, and you didn't have to follow the helpful stuff, but when you do, it's like, oh, that's really cool that they could figure this shit out and that the game is this complicated. Nice job. Yeah, but either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I look forward to the complexity of this league. I hope you do too, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.